Alright everyone, in literally the same week we found the 20th secret missile site that the DPRK, North Korea, has, and Trump has announced, yeah, we're planning actively the second summit between me and Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea. Now, where will that be? That's important. We gotta see where it's gonna be. Is Trump literally gonna go to Pyongyang? Is Kim Jong-un gonna come to DC? A delegation just came to the US and stayed there for the first time in, like, what was it, almost 20 years, I think it was? You know, nobody during the Obama admin wanted to give him the time of day. China spurned him too. That's significant. It points to the possibility. And if there's a summit with Kim Jong-un coming to the U.S. or Trump going to Pyongyang, it becomes 10 times more important than if they just hold it in the Peace Village or they go to Beijing or something, which is also possible. The second thing is, do you think that it's coincidental that the timing of the finding of this missile site just happens to be right before this summit? Now, some people are saying, well, they're trying to scramble the summit and keep peace from being achieved because of the warmongers and stuff. No, I think it's actually a Pompeo-based U.S. strategy. I think the strategy, which is what happened before the last summit, if you remember, is turn up the heat a little bit before the summit, pull back, other person comes to you with an olive branch, and then you have the summit. You start off on a better footing if you do that. If you've just had a rapprochement, a reconciliation after a minor squabble, we strongly condemn the U.S. claiming that we have secret missile sites. Okay, well then we don't need to have a summit because your letter was worded wrong. Oh, no, we still want the summit to go on here. Let's shake hands and shit. It's already happened twice before. It happened before the Pompeo visit, and it happened before the first Trump summit. You remember, he said, well, I look very much forward to having this summit, but you just insulted my vice president, so I'm not going. Oh, no, we really want to have the summit. Here, you're misunderstanding what we meant. Pence is fine. It's exactly what happens. It fits in with the profile of how Trump conducts foreign policy, and it's been working, and even better. Despite all of the grinding on, the slowing down of the relations warming between the U.S. and North Korea, relations between the ROK and North Korea have been churning along at a fairly steady clip. They've still, this entire time, and the media doesn't talk about it because they don't want Trump to get any credit for getting the ball rolling, like no other administration could probably do. They've been demining areas of the DMZ. They've been blowing up their border defenses, withdrawing artillery and missiles and so forth. North Korea did destroy several test sites of a military nature. So even if they have these secret facilities that are like underground or whatever, it's like, well, no, they don't have facilities underground. They're staring down the barrel of nuclear Armageddon every day. I'm sure they have no bunkers whatsoever. Of course they do. The whole country is pockmarked with little caves and tunnels and bunkers and shit. Probably 10 layers deep in some cases. Like you think Tora Bora was formidable. Wait till you see what they have. Whenever there's peace and people go in and finally get to see some of these facilities firsthand, oh my god, I bet it would be a little bit like Fallout, to tell the truth. Only with a higher survivorship rate because you got more room underground, or a lot more ghouls depending on where the blast hits. Now, I hope that the summit happens. I hope that it makes progress towards peace. But again, the big debate is over whether North and South Korea can make amends. It seems like they are. The activities on the DMZ, some of them are pretty much irreversible. Like they're reconnecting their rail and road lines. I mean, they're not serviceable because you still got sanctions, embargoes. But they have been reconnected pending the possibility of finally having peace. I think that the South Korean leadership knows full well that Kim Jong-un, having been backed into a corner, is ceding a lot of the things that he's already arranged in a military and diplomatic sense. I think they're expecting the summit to go reasonably well and for more warm relations to continue. After that, it's going to get to the point. This is what I hope for. This is the easy way out for the West, by the way. The easy way out is to simply encourage a formal end to hostilities and the pseudo-reunification of the peninsula, after which we can start scaling back sanctions on the basis that it no longer matters to us as much, because the state we're talking about is no longer fully hostile. It no longer matters so much if they have had a rogue nuclear program. And so the U.S. can simply insist on inspectors, having a totally declared stockpile, and the cessation of creating more weapons and say, look, okay, you're an H-bomb toting nation. That's okay. We're fine with it. As long as you're not threatening anybody, we don't really care. And, it's counterbalanced kind of to China. Getting North Korea on the west side would be a very, very good diplomatic move in Asia. Same as Trump's swing towards relations with both India and the Philippines, as well as his appeasement of certain Japanese militaristic policies, springing up in the wake of them scrapping basically their demilitarization doctrines, which were scrapped. Now, the West had always called that a terrible idea and said, well, kind of a red line, we're not going to be able to deal with you the same way that we have. Trump don't give a shit. He's like, yeah, build missiles. You want Aegis ashore? You want some Patriot batteries or something? Yeah, you can have them. And it really, I think it scared China. They looked at it as a military buildup, and they said, well, we got to fortify the Spratlys, but we've also got to do something about Korea so that there's no cause for a war within the region that could get us sucked in. Because we'll have to honor our military agreements if that happens, and or we potentially get clouds of radiation, over Shanghai. It's going to kill a lot of people. We don't want that to happen. We're busy building things in Africa, and so I think China's been instrumental as well. So I hope that the summit goes forward, and I hope that peace is finally achieved. Because, the Korean people deserve it. Highly literate, hardworking, it's a great spot. There's no reason that North Korea should be so poor. It's got minerals out the ass. It's got enough rare earth minerals to prop up the computing industry of the next century, and yet people there still have to eat grass smoothies once in a while when the rice crop fails, and then China has to bail them out in the name of humanitarian aid to a regime that spends most of its income really on nothing more than its military. That's about all. Peace out.